I think we need to stop. We need to stop.
Because you don't have arguments, or?
No. It's just enough. I think we need to stop.
You need to stop. Okay. All right.
You're a filmmaker.
Huh?
You're a filmmaker.
Oh, yeah, I'm making videos, yes.
Oh, okay. So what's this video for?
For the people who want to know how the leftists think, for example, and exposing people with totally ridiculous and stupid ideas, such as, these ladies who can't really defend the indefensible. I mean, are you on their side, or do you agree with them? Do you disagree with them? Where do you stand in this?
Okay, so actually I'm documenting this.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have my own opinions, but as
Sure.
a filmmaker, documentary director, I can express this at this moment, but I'm wondering which side are you standing for?
I'm obviously standing for, well, first of all, let's start with the criminal population. It's kind of an interesting argument that we have the largest prison population in the world. Well, maybe the reason we have the largest prison population in the world in America is because our criminal system is working very well. Meaning, if somebody commits the crime, we catch these people and we send them to prison to isolate them from the rest of law-abiding citizens. Because that's what the criminal system is supposed to do, to isolate these people. You can't really change them. Very few people do change, and if they do change, it's because of the punishment that the criminal system imposes on them. So that's how it works. There's no penance. They're incorrigible. Most of them, unfortunately. The rate of recidivism is way high. It's, I believe, over 50%. So in other words, the people who committed the crime once, they're bound to commit the crimes over and over and over again.
Yeah, so this is the controversy, Some people, they think it shouldn't be any jail. Some people think we should put the criminals into the jail or into the prison to help them away from the society. So there are the two colors of the sphere.
Mm-hmm.
So you're supporting the jail, or?
Well, imagine if you have criminals, murderers, rapists walking around among us right now. Would you feel safe knowing that there will be no punishment for them? They can walk freely, they can live among us and commit crime anytime they want without any repercussions. How would you feel about that? I have a very simple answer. Like I said before, you got to isolate these people from the rest of the society, law-abiding society, and prisons serve precisely that purpose of isolating these people from law-abiding citizens so that we, like you said, will feel safe walking along the streets at night. That's the only way to secure safe streets.
Okay, so there are two situations.
Okay.
The first situation is to building a new jail in Chinatown.
Okay.
And the second situation is to building a new jail.
Okay.
So which one do you support, or you support both of them? So the controversy is some people, they don't want a new jail in Chinatown because this community don't want any new jail. However, some of them, they don't want a jail. That's the different situation,
Well, this particular instance, I can't speak for the details, but do we need jails? Absolutely. Do we need jails next door? Well, maybe yes, maybe no.
So you live in Chinatown?
No, I live in Staten Island. And I don't mind having jails next door to me, because I know that, hey, all these criminals, they're secure over there. If a criminal get caught, it's a short ride to jail.
So you're not mind about a new jail?
I love jails. I absolutely love jails. I love criminals being caught, being punished, and being isolated from me. I lived in this country for 30 plus years. I don't even have a traffic violation. It's so easy to not commit a crime. All I have to do is to follow the laws. As simple as that.
Okay, so why you are here today? I'm curious.
Well,
just curious, personal.
Sure. Well, personally, it's just I want to see why people are protesting, what they're protesting, and as you can see, like this girl with this, justice flags and stuff like that, she can't even explain her position. And when you start asking very simple, most basic questions, they just walk away. They have no arguments, and yet they want us to follow in their footsteps and poison the minds of others, especially younger people, younger generation, and that's what I'm totally against. And on my end, I want to expose people like that. I have my own YouTube channel with over 80,000 subscribers, and I hope that people see it, watch it, and do not follow in the footsteps of the leftists and the Marxists and the socialists, because it only leads to disaster, as it always has and will.
So actually, to be honest, I really enjoy listening to different voices. So I appreciate your have the interview with me. But I'm curious, do you stand for Macao, or you just keep neutral? You just keep your idea?
Well, here I just don't know any details, so I can't argue one way or another. However, I do know that when it comes to labor disputes, when it comes to paying the rent, I mean, it's just simple market economy. If you cannot pay, I mean, imagine that. Let's change the shoes. Imagine that there are so many small landlords who live off just a few apartments, a few dozens of apartments. This is their entire income. So imagine that they have these people living in these apartments, not paying rent, and I know cases like that in New York City, where the landlords themselves have to live in the car because they have no cash flow, they have no money. And people are claiming, it's a pandemic, find the excuses. I mean, I'm sorry, you cannot pay the rent. Well, you have to move out. That's how it's supposed to be, and that's how it works. And it doesn't matter whether it's a small landlord or whether it's a large landlord. Law is the law, business is business, rent is rent, as simple as that.
Okay, could you please say again, no matter the smallest landlord or the biggest landlord, because you stumbled a little bit, I want to use this.
Sure, absolutely. So what I'm saying is that where do you draw the line? There are small landlords that suffer just as much as perhaps the large landlord. The point is, the law is the law. There are small landlords that lose their livelihood because they have tenants who refuse paying their rent. The same principle as the large landlords resorting to the excuse of pandemic or other issues for not paying the rent. So why should the large landlords be somewhat different or any different than the small landlords? A landlord is a landlord, business is business, rent is rent. Everybody has to pay it or get out.
But how about a lot of people, they are suffering, they were suffering from the pandemic. They can't afford it. So they are going to be displaced from this part. Maybe they live there, they have been living there for 40 years. How about that, those persons?
Well, first of all, life is not fair. Simple as that. So you have to accept it as a fact. Life is not fair. Government was helping these people for more than a year, providing subsidies, providing extra money. So you have to handle your finances the proper way. Unemployment in this country is less than 6%. So basically anyone can get a rent. When I lived in USSR, for example, well, if you can't pay it, we lived in communal apartments. Well, we handle it. Several families share the same kitchen, share the same toilet. Well, that was the life that I lived back in the country that I came from originally. I'm not advocating that this should be a norm in this country, but when bad times happen, well, you just live through them until you pull yourself by the bootstraps and you're back in business, living normal life.
A public health crisis where it's really important that people need to quarantine, and say, like, if they're sick, you can't be living in a communal space. You don't want to be on the street either.
She died. She died because of China virus.
Oh my God! All right.
So why did we?
Why is China virus?
Where did it come from? What do you think? What's the origin of the virus? What do you think?
Why you are saying something like China virus, Chinese virus?
Because
from?
Because that's
ridiculous.
so. Isn't it China virus? It didn't come from
It's
China.
not China virus.
Where
you
did?
don't have any. You don't have any proof to prove it's China virus.
So it is.
If you call it
Wait.
that, I don't have any word with you. You're discriminate.
So it did not come from China.
I'm from
Yes or no?
China or not. It's
No.
not the biggest
Virus.
problem.
Wait. Did virus come from China? Yes or no?
No.
It did not come. Where do you think it came from?
Okay, so here maybe you think it's from China, but in China
I know
we
it's from
don't-
China.
No,
I
you
know
don't
it's from
have
China.
The proof.
Really?
Yeah, you know.
Okay.